As we sit around and watch these commercials that talk about better help and friends and support systems, telling people, oh, it's all in your head, it's all of these things, whatever these commercials are saying. Of course, I have comment on that. And the comment is, some of it is true. Like, there are always reasons why people feel the way that they do. It just doesn't come out of nowhere. There's some unresolved trauma, there's something that happened in the day, there's a person that may have caused some issues or rubbed one the wrong way. There are plenty of reasons why people are in the moods that they're in or having the mental health challenges that they're struggling with. On the other side of that, it's up to us, the individual, to control that, to fix it, to heal, all of those things. Because these emotions are theirs and they're responsible for their own emotions. If a person says that to you, it's up to you whether or not you want to be offended by that or take it to heart in some kind of way and say that the person is being unsupportive. That's up to you to view it that way. They were saying it the best way that they knew how to be supportive and to help you through whatever it is. To maybe lessen the blow, to say, hey, it's not as bad as it is, just let's work through this together. If you just focus on the fact that they're saying it's not as bad as it is because you feel like your whole world is caving in, it doesn't mean that they're being insensitive. They're just trying to help you see that you don't have to force yourself into the suffering or aggrandize your situation when it probably really isn't as bad as you're making it seem. So a lot of times people call me assholes and shit like that and say that I'm not supportive or not supporting their negative emotions. I don't support negative emotions. If I'm part of your support system, I'm here to help you get out of that shit. I'm not going to sit here and baby it and coddle it. I'm not going to sit here and be on your side of things. That's not helpful. That's not helpful. Just like the commercial says. It's not helpful for me to feed into your pain. It's helpful for me to help you heal from that pain. And however I need to do that is how I'm going to do it. Because there are plenty of people that will support your pain and will exacerbate your pain. Like, there are too many people out in the world that will do that. There will people that will add to that shit. Why would I be one of those people? Also, there are people who will take advantage of your pain. And I'm not going to be one of those individuals. I'm going to be straightforward. I'm going to be blunt. And again, it's up to you how you want to take it. I'm not giving you the words that you want to hear or how you want to hear it. You're fighting your own self in this. There's another part to this as well. The other part is we're too soft on ourselves. We're very, very lenient when it comes to our own actions and perspectives. That's where all of my niceness ends. Because we spent so much time digging these holes, these graves for ourselves. And now we're trying to climb out of them. We're expecting everyone to have empathy and sympathize with them for the own shit that they dug. Everyone has gone through something in their life. No matter what the context is, it was something traumatic, something that ruffled their feathers, something that caused some kind of negative emotions. It's subjective. There's some things that happen in people's lives that causes people to react a certain way. When people go through things, the point is for them to grow from it. There's a lesson in whatever that is, no matter how fucked up the situation is. There's a lesson in it, every situation. It is up to the person to view it as a time to learn or a time to succumb. There are plenty of people out there who just can't bring themselves to live anymore after they've been harmed in some way. The whole world stops. They believe that the whole world is against them or trying to harm them or something. Like, it just triggers a thought process that is abnormal. The world ends with that one traumatic situation. Or even if there's a domino effect of negative situations, it's still up to the person to get out of them and recognize that every single one has a lesson. You can't become an agoraphobic because you're afraid to go out in public if you've been mugged or any other physical assault. You can't stop living. You cannot do that. It's not for you to do that. Your story is supposed to be heard by others who have been through that trauma. Heal from that. Come out of that situation and grow so you can help other people see that there's life after those situations. If everyone who's been assailed decides not to leave the house, the world will shut down, because everyone has gone through something where another person has harmed them in some way, no matter what it is. If the person's been harmed physically, if they've been harmed emotionally, if they've been aggrieved in some way, maybe at work or at school, everyone's been through something. So we need to be a little bit tougher on ourselves. We need to stop fighting each other about who has the better way of helping another person get through these things. We need to be tough on each other, to raise each other's standards for ourselves. I push people to be their better selves. I'm going to accept when people push me to be my better self. And that's how we help each other. It's reciprocal. Now, it doesn't help you if you're fighting me when I'm trying to push you to be better. It doesn't help you at all. I'm doing my part. I'm extending help to you. If you don't want to accept it, that's your prerogative. However, if you're fighting everyone that's trying to help you, you're not helping yourself. You're blocking out the universe's way of strengthening you or helping you strengthen yourself. So you're blocking that. Okay, you don't even want the universe's help? We're all here to help each other, and that's the universe's way. So you're telling the universe, hey, you know what, I don't need your shit right now. So what is the universe going to do? Stop sending you help. And you're really going to have to do that shit on your own. And you think it's hard now. What the fuck do you think it's going to be when you are alone and no one is there to help you? So sometimes take a step back. Before you get defensive, before you want to become offensive, stop and think for a second. Is this person really helping me or trying to help me in their way? Or is this person trying to harm me? Of course, if the person is trying to harm you, then you protect yourself. You let it go. You know what? I don't need this. You leave the situation. But if a person is genuinely trying to help you, don't fight that. Allow that help, because then the universe will send you more help and even more help. And with all of that fortification around you, you'll be able to heal a lot easier than the harder side of going at it alone. So think about that. Now, we need to be hard on each other. We need to hold each other to higher standards. Why? Because there's a greater danger and threat to us. And we need to band together in our strongest forms to fight. Not one another, but together to fight the one thing. To put it in perspective, we have the governments that are fucking us over, corporations that are fucking us over. We have all of these large entities fucking us over, and they're going to continue doing that because we aren't going to do shit about it. We can complain all day long. Oh, woe is me. My job is a piece of shit. My boss is this. Or our governments suck. Our delegates are pieces of shit. All of those things we complain about, but they're going to continue to be and do these things because we're not doing anything about it. Why? Because our typical excuse, well, you know, I'm just one person, or I have my own problems, even though these things do affect every single person. Your delegates, they're affecting your life in some way. I don't care where you are on the status class totem pole, they're going to affect you in some way. If you're not a millionaire, billionaire, they're going to affect you. So you do need to do your part. And it's more than just voting. It's more than that. Because we can vote all day long. We know that shit is a sham too. The only way to change all of this is if we take back the control. We the people? No, it's just the people that are in office. It's just them and the millionaires. No one else counts. And we complain about that day in and day out. Every day, a new fucking complaint, or the same complaints over and over again about how we're being screwed over as everyday people. Well, what the fuck are we doing? No one really is doing anything but complaining, posting on social media. That has an effect for maybe 5 fucking minutes, and then it goes right back to whatever the fuck is going on. We see it with banks, for example. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, banks like the very large banks, transnational banks, all kinds of shit. Corporations that are like that as well. All of them. We see it all the time. Large class action lawsuits or large fines for screwing consumers in some way. And where are they now? Still doing the same shit, just in a different form. And we complain and complain, but we still give them our business. Yet we have every piece of energy within ourselves to fight each other. Why? Because it's easier. Well, what's easier isn't always best. We know that. We know that adage. So, what the fuck are we gonna do? Why are we doing this to ourselves? We're suffering unnecessarily, as we do in a lot of things. With a lot of things, within things, situations, we do it every day. Every day. It's so much that crosses different areas of life. Our livelihoods, jobs, money, our needs like food, the cost of food, vegetables and things like that. We understand that there has to be transportation and logistics and other shit that's involved in that, but otherwise the cost of food shouldn't be what it is. Especially when the higher the cost, the less that is really being put into the process. These companies, you think they're actually putting that money back into what it is? Of course, they're improving their equipment over time. They have to. That's just something natural that happens. However, this equipment and the technology is just a person programming and maintenance. But the equipment that these manufacturers, for example, have, they're made to last for decades. So when they're raising their prices, and of course we already know inflation has a lot to do with that, supply and demand, we get it. But at the same time, when you're talking about people who are supplying food, we're not talking about things that have to be built and so forth and so on. You have equipment and then you process the food. The food does its own work. So if you're a farmer of green peppers and tomatoes, the food does its own work. All you have to do is have equipment to harvest it and of course to plant it and get that shit to the stores and to the farm stands. That's really all you need, but there's so many different things that's in between that it inflates the price unnecessarily. Now, I'm not talking about pesticides and things like that. All of that stuff comes with the harvesting and so forth and so on. We got that. But the price for organic food, are you kidding me? The price for organic food is ridiculous. You're basically pulling shit out of the ground and slapping it on a truck. Yeah, take this shit. It's still, when you go to the store to pick it up, you're picking it up with the dirt still on it. I mean, we're talking about vegetables and fruits here. So, what the fuck are we paying you for? Why are we paying you $4 a pound for apples? Why? Organic apples. They're being pulled out of the tree, and they're being put on trucks, and they're being distributed. Why are they more expensive than non-organic apples? It makes no sense. But we just accept it. We accept that healthier things are more expensive. It's not because there's a different process, it's the fact that profit comes first. It comes before our health. Corporations would rather see us die. And they know that the working person usually goes for the thing that's the least expensive. And the least expensive thing is the one that actually costs the most to make. We're not talking about cheap shit like some potato chips or something like that. Generally speaking, things that have all these chemicals and preservatives and all of those things in them just to mass produce something, you still have to get all of that shit. But it's naturally cheaper so that it can be mass produced. And people buy that shit. So we have obesity that's rampant. And since that's rampant, guess what? That's what makes money. Now that everyone's trying to diet because obesity is a big thing, that's profit off of that. So you have food that's supposed to help us live. Like, first and foremost, we need food. We have to have food. But we can barely afford food because money still trumps it. So we need to get together, get our shit together, and stop fighting each other about what method a person is using to heal when they're not healing because they're too busy fighting. And then once we get out of that fucking mode, then we'll be able to fight the powers that we need to fight, not each other. We need to get shit back in order, or everything is going to continue to be in disorder. Get your shit together, people. I don't give a shit how you do it, but get it together and get it together now. It needs to happen now. It's no more of this babying. It's no more of this, oh, let's be gentle with you. Man, fuck that shit. Get your shit together. Get your life in order. Get your soul in order. And do what you need to do so you can get out there and fight with everyone else. We all are fighting the same battles every day with these fucking greedy bastards that are raping us. Or we just bent over crying while they ramming it in, screwing us in every fucking way. They running trains on us. If it's not the government, then it's a corporation. If it's not a corporation, it's a job, which is probably some type of corporation. Then it's other people, family. Everybody's screwing us in a fucking train, and we just bent over taking that shit, crying that we have to take the shit, instead of fucking getting up, pulling your drawers up, and fighting back. But we're taking it and we're fighting each other because we're all taking it. We're in this together. So we shouldn't be fighting each other. And it's sad because the same people that run these corporations are being screwed in some way by someone, unless you're really at the top tier. Other than that, you're just like everybody else. We're all in this. So, what are you going to do, people? Are you going to sit here and continue to cry about how someone is helping you? Are you going to continue to fight them? Or are you going to get your shit together and let's all band together at our greatest, highest strength and fight these people that are really killing us? What are you going to do?